Hey guys, I'm back to talk more about my Thanksgiving prep with you because I had a lot of interest in seeing closer up looks of my Thanksgiving day before and day of schedules. These are the lists I had made last year, and I actually had based them on lists I had made the previous year. Like I said, I save my lists every year, but I only keep the one from the most recent year that just passed in my collection of goodies. If you missed the last video, it was my Thanksgiving kind of like prep binder. Look at that. So I will post a link to that below if you're curious. And I had showed, like I said, these lists very briefly in it. But there was so much interest in seeing closer up look of the actual Thanksgiving schedules that I thought I would kind of elaborate upon them for myself and also for you guys to share, and then share them with you in a separate video. So I actually went to Word, and I converted my list to a Word document, and I did kind of expand upon them. And I'm going to take you through all this with a close-up look on my computer in just a moment. But first I just want to show you that I actually went ahead and kind of thought out my entire week before Thanksgiving. I usually do this in my to-do list that I keep in my file of facts, my daily to-dos. But this is just kind of helping me think about my week a little bit more in advance. So I did that. I also kind of, just typed out my Wednesday before Thanksgiving list, the day before, because I do a lot of baking and prep work on that day. And then I went ahead and typed up this, basically broke it down into a list form like this. So I'm going to take you onto my computer now and give you a close-up look at this. I will also, I don't have my blog up and running yet, but I will somehow try to, maybe I'll pin these. That's what I'll do. I'll pin my little lists on my my Pinterest account. Information for that is always below, and I'll include links to it. So if you guys want to see, have your own kind of copy of my Thanksgiving list, so you can make your own copy, maybe based on it or inspired on it. This just works out with my recipe, my turkey recipe. That's how the timing for this works out. And in case you missed that other video, the turkey recipe I do use is from marthastewart.com, and it's Martha's ultimate Thanksgiving menu, her roasted brine turkey. I'll try to find a link to that and post it below. I also make the ultimate Thanksgiving menu Riesling Gravy that's associated with it, as well as the Giblet Stock and the turkey brine. So I will try to post links to all of that below, as well as pin these my to-do list so you can see them. And then maybe next year I will dedicate a blog post to them and maybe design some sort of more interesting Thanksgiving prep list so you guys could maybe print it out and kind of do it yourself that way. So let's have a look at my computer, and then I'll come back and wrap everything up. Okay, so here we are on the desktop of my iMac. If you're ever wondering what that looks like, well, here you go. And I'm in my documents folder, specifically my Thanksgiving folder, where I have all of my years of Thanksgiving planning in one place. And I'm going to open that folder, and that is where I've stored my most recent additions, which are my 2012 schedule and my week before to-dos. So like I said in the intro, I went ahead and typed out my day before Thanksgiving to-do list, but that also inspired me to do my week before Thanksgiving to-dos. So I kind of went through the next week, basically, from today until next Tuesday, kind of with basic things I want to remember to do every day. Now, like I said, normally I would put these things in my daily to-do list, and I probably will still, but this is just helping me kind of think it out ahead of time, and I think this is something I'm going to want to do from now on. So I just kind of went through the things that I can do right now that I know I'm going to be doing this far ahead. So for instance here, today I'm having Dawn check on. So we have one smoked turkey and one roast turkey that we serve. He makes the smoked turkey and I make the roast turkey. I prep and brine both turkeys the day before, but Don is in charge of the smoker and anything that has to do with the smoker, including his wood chip supply and charcoal supply. So I'm going to have him check on that today, so we have ample time to get what he needs if he needs anything else. And then, just here we go, going through the list, prepping, basically just pre-prep, doing some things that I want to film. I promised I'd make the spinach square recipe. That'll be on my Housewife Life for you guys. If you're interested, that's my other channel here on YouTube. And then Thursday is when our rented tables and chairs are being dropped off. We're having 29 guests this year. And just like last year, I am purchasing tables but renting tables and chairs and basically moving all the furniture out of our very large combination dining living room area to make room for the rentals. And I like having the tables arranged a week ahead. I don't mind paying a little extra to have the rentals longer. It's really a negligible price to me in terms of the stress it saves me having it done ahead. And I will go ahead and start arranging things really. I set up the furniture on Thursday, but I'll start arranging the tables, deciding on the final placement of my other tables that I put out, like for the desserts, coffee, and the bar. We always have a self-serve kind of bar set up. So I'll start doing all that, and I'll put out the linens and things, but I won't actually set the tables until, probably Tuesday or so. I didn't put that on my list. I just realized that I'll have to put on my list. So maybe I will put that in right now. Set tables. Now, I don't really worry about dust that far. 2 days ahead, I don't think it's going to get that dusty. I'll probably leave the glasses in their containers until Thursday or Wednesday of Thanksgiving. But I'm not going to worry too much about dust for 2 days. We don't really get that much dust in our house. That's sort of a personal call up to you. So that's basically up through the weekend, and then on Mondays when I get all of my platters, I decide on what serverware I'm using and make sure I have all of the plates and glasses and silverware that we need are cleaned and set aside so we don't dirty them between then and Thanksgiving. And most importantly, I make my shopping list because I do all of my shopping 2 days before Thanksgiving on Tuesday, and on that day I'll go to Whole Foods. That's where I get the bulk of our groceries in general, and where I'll get the bulk of our Thanksgiving menu items, as well as Target, and Dominick's is like our regular sort of like large chain grocery store that has certain things that I can only get there. And I'll also start working on the ice. We have an ice maker, but I like to make a lot of batches and have them in our big freezer downstairs for backup because we go through a lot of ice through a very long party like Thanksgiving. And like I said, I added the set the tables. And then the day before Thanksgiving, I already had this kind of outlined, as you saw in my rough draft kind of copy that I just copied from last year. But this is when I really focus on, it's when I brine the turkeys and also work on the ice, but it's also when I do most of the baking. And I find that the things actually taste just fine, if not better, the next day. I used to be all for the bake on the day that you serve things, and for certain things I do stick to that rule. But for Thanksgiving, the cookies that I send home with people are fine for a day. The cupcakes I make, I just don't make the icing till the day of. Same with the pies. The apple pie actually tastes better the next day in my experience. And the icebox pumpkin pie that I make, and you would have seen that if you watched my Thanksgiving prep video that I just posted last week, that actually also sets in the fridge. It doesn't bake. You bake the crust but not the pie, and that is great the next day. I just wait to make the whipped topping until the day of. So there's certain things I can do, and also like chop some things, prep some snacks, get some things, pull some things out of cabinets and put them out on my table so they're ready to be dispersed the next day, and I don't have to go scrounging around in my cabinets and pantry for those things. It's also when I set out all the paper goods, like on the tables in our basement, on our coffee tables in the basement, and in the family room, which is the areas in which the family tend to congregate during the sort of snack time, football time of Thanksgiving. And I'll set up extra chairs in those areas as well. And then I have done make sure that we have all of the football games set and ready to record on both televisions, both in the basement and the family room, so we don't miss any precious football. And then at the end of the day, I clean and prep the kitchen for the next day, getting everything I need out for the first part of the day, at least for my morning prep work that I have to do on Thanksgiving morning. I make any changes to the to-do list that I have set for Thanksgiving that I might have come up during the last week of prepping and stuff, and I make sure I run the dishwasher. This is critical, very critical. Then I went ahead and just like that list, I typed up my actual Thanksgiving 2012 schedule, and this is based on my schedule from last year. I elaborated just a little bit on some things. I spelled turkey terribly wrong. But, excuse me, my bad typing. Oh, I just realized that the typos are going to be on my intro of the video. I'm sorry for that, you guys. As you can see, I do things by hourly increments, and then I have to do items underneath. And I put in these little boxes so I could check things off because I'm big on that. And I figure I can even check off in these little circle dot things as well. So I kind of went through my day. Now, this doesn't include absolutely every little tiny thing that I'm doing, but these are the things that I really want to focus on and remember to do in this general time frame. Yeah, things might change around in terms of time. I'm flexible enough that I can, change things if I have to, but it's also nice to have it worked out like this, so I have a framework to work within. I have a sense of timing, especially when it comes to cooking things like roasting a turkey and making mashed potatoes and heating up sides and things. I just wanted to have this all laid out like this so I can really not have to think too much of it on the day of, because I've already thought it through. That helps a lot. I always make sure I put in time for Winnie. Winnie is my dog, if you're not familiar. I like to give her some attention because she is just the biggest pout on Thanksgiving Day. She'll sit in her little bed in the kitchen and just stare at me and pout. So I like to give her some time that's dedicated just to her, walk her, groom her, and also, spend some time with her. And then I also put in a break for me, an hour to take a nice shower and take my time getting dressed and putting on my makeup and just veg out for a minute, because this is a long, stressful, busy day. Now, having it all thought out like this and planned makes it a lot less stressful, and in my experience, every year it is less and less stressful than the year before. The first year I hosted Thanksgiving, I was a wreck. I was so stressed out. But as the years have gone by, I've become more comfortable with the menu and cooking things and the timing of things and the schedule of things and setting up so far in advance. I know it seems ridiculous to some people, but it is just what works for me. And that's what I recommend always. Find what works for you. It's great to get inspiration from other people and see what works for them and maybe try out some things you hadn't thought to try out, but ultimately you have to find what works for you, and that is the most important thing. So as you can see, I'm not going to go over the whole list, but it's basically got the day chopped up, and I like to make sure that I always have the cold hors d'oeuvres out. Guests come at 1, dinner served at 5. They can come any time between 1 and 5, but that's when we start the football, and that's when they're, officially invited. So I like to put out a hot appetizer every hour from 1 to 3, basically. You can see 1:30, 2:30, 3:30. We have 3 hot appetizers. The rest of the appetizers, snacks, or whatever you want to call them, are cold, and they are out for the whole time. And then I also do always email my family a little list. They're very helpful. A lot of them are pitching in with sides and appetizers that they're bringing. And then whoever's not bringing things may be assigned to certain cleanup tasks, like bringing in the snacks after snack time is over, helping clear the tables, loading up the dishwasher, etc., etc. So it's a group effort, but it makes it more enjoyable for me personally, but also I have found, and I'm the kind of person who always used to want to do everything myself, I have found that people actually prefer to help out. It makes them feel involved. It makes them feel like they're part of the process. So don't be afraid to ask people for help. And there are certain people you can ask to help you with certain things. So if you know your guests, then you know what tasks or whatever will suit them best. So that is my Thanksgiving scheduler. And like I said, there will be links below if you want to check it out in a closer up view. So I hope you guys enjoyed that closer up look, and like I said, links below to the recipes that I use for the turkey and gravy, as well as the links to my Pinterest account with the images of the my lists. So what I went ahead and did is I added them to my Thanksgiving binder with, I put them in sheet protectors, and I love the ones by Wilson Jones, if you're curious. Those are the ones that I buy. But this is odd. Okay, let me just take them out. I put them in the front of the binder because they're kind of the most important thing right now, and I can stick sticky notes on here and things I want to add, or I can always just do, change it on my computer. This is just a rough draft. This is the first year I'm doing it this way. But what I like about this is having it in the sheet protectors means I can have it in my kitchen and it's not going to get totally ruined. That's why I keep my recipes in sheet protectors. That way I don't have to print them out year to year. I'm obviously going to print these out every year, but I figured I like crossing things off, so I figured using a fine tip Sharpie, this is a Sharpie pen, would work on top of a sheet protector. and then I can cross off things as I go along, and that's why I chose to use these little boxes so I could mark things off. So I'm going to put this in my little binder too, and I'm feeling really like super prepared this year. I mean, every year I just get a little bit more on top of things, and I just think that comes with practice. You know, doing the same big event every year just helps a lot in learning things. But I hope maybe you guys got some ideas from this, that it was interesting to you in some way. Let me know if it inspired you to make your own schedule ahead of time. And if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, and this is totally applicable to other big events, parties, get-togethers, whatever you want to call them, for other things as well. So that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to be back with at least one more Thanksgiving video before I jump into kind of more holiday themed things. I know I promised the Container Store Gift Wrap Wonderland that is coming up as soon as I'm done posting the Thanksgiving things, but I just wanted to do them in, you know, a timely fashion because Thanksgiving's coming up so soon. But I'm going to give you guys a look at my holiday tradition that I started a couple years ago of scrapbooking for Thanksgiving and incorporating families, what they're grateful for, and pictures from Thanksgiving every year. So that'll be the next video. I'm going to give you guys a look at that. I have 2 years so far, 2010 and 2011, to share with you. A look at that kind of idea. It's just something fun to do. But that is it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and that if you do celebrate Thanksgiving, you're gearing up for a, you know, as stress-free as possible event and fun times with family and friends. And I will see you guys real soon. Take care, you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.